Should we start? It's 5.
Just give me a second.
Good evening,
So,
Huda.
sorry, ma'am.
No, I just said good evening to Huda and to everybody. So you can start,
Good
Gauri.
evening, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, so let's start with the discussion. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining for this discussion today. I'm Gauri Pillai from TYFSN, and I'm going to be your host for this book discussion. We have with us Ms. Huda Syed, who is the moderator for today's book discussion, and she is MA BEd. We also have our two panelists, Reena Poptani and Hetal Gami, who are from MSc CND and SY BSc respectively. The book that we are discussing today is called Pinjar, which is a work by Amrita Pritam and was published in 1950, written in Punjabi. And as we all know, it has also been adapted to a movie. It is a story of Puro, a Hindu girl who is abducted by a Muslim boy, and from then on, her life completely changes, and unexpected events follow. When I started reading the book, I was intrigued, and I couldn't keep the book down. Uh, there were uh, there were a lot of events which are happening unexpected, and I hoped for a very different ending, and there was a different ending altogether. So the plot was actually very touching. So I'm glad that I have read this book, and I'm glad that I have panelists who have read this book. So I think that Amrita Pritam has actually given voice to many women out there, many daughters, many girls who have been victims of the partition. So today's topic for the discussion is on gender dynamics and identity crisis in Amrita Pritam's novel Pinjar. We chose this theme because even though the book is situated in a pre and post partition period, a lot of the events are even prevalent today. So my first question is to Reena. How was your experience reading the book, and how much do you think gender dynamics come into place as one of the major themes of the novel?
Thank you, Gauri, for the question. Good evening, everyone. I felt Pinjar is an amazing read. It gives you a touch of how exactly the situation were at the time of independence. The author Amrita Pritam has described the details and emotions of women and men so beautifully that one can actually feel the hardships and atrocities people had to undergo, especially women during the time of partition of India and Pakistan. Talking about gender dynamics, it is a patriarchal society back then. So women were treated as a victim of not only patriarchy but also partition, and we can see it through the life of the novel's protagonist Puro. So men were also victims of partition, but they were not as affected as women. Like women were treated as an object, and they were treated as an instrument to take revenge. So Puro was abducted by a man called Rashid, and when she returned back to her family, her family refused to accept her. So, but this was not the case for men. Men were never faced rejection by their own family. Puro would not have faced this situation if she was not a woman. Like if her brother was abducted, it would not have brought disgrace to her family. But since she was a woman, Rashid decided to abduct her so that it will cause disgrace to and dishonor to the community of Hindus. It is ironic how we say that honor of a woman is very important in a community, but at the same time we are dishonoring another woman so that it will cause dishonor to the family, like between the Hindus and Muslims. So she was punished for a crime that she did not even commit and had to forcefully go back to Rashid. Thank you.
Thank you for your take, Reena. Does anyone have any other thoughts on this? On how gender dynamics has been a prominent theme in the novel? Hetal?
Yeah. Also, when initially the novel begins, and when Puro's background is shown, that she is a young girl, she is happy with a Hindu family, but there's a situation where it shows that she's about to get married. She's already being fixed with a boy of the nearby village. So, but at the same time, if you see, her mother is also pregnant, and the nearby ladies come at her place and they shower with some blessings so that she gets a boy. So as Reena said, that we had the patriarchal system is the background of the story. So yes, that is that. Even if she has three daughters, but they consider them as burdens, because when Puro is fixed for a marriage, his her father says that finally we'll get rid of the burden, and they are waiting for a boy. So yes, I think gender dynamics is shown. Yeah.
That was a nice point. Like I observed it now that Puro's mother was already caring, whereas Puro's engagement had been fixed by that time. Like they were going to send her off to a different family while the mother was still pregnant and was hoping for a son. Um, any other take on this? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Please unmute your mic. Ma'am, you have to
Ma'am,
unmute your mic.
I can't hear you.
Yes.
Unmute. Ma'am, we can't hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the whole idea of Pinjar and the whole metaphor of the caged birds, because you have birds right at the cage. So can that be related to gender and situation of women in any way?
Yes, ma'am. It can be related. Like during that time, women did not have any say, or they did not have any right to choose their way of life. They were just supposed to do how their husbands and father told them to do. Like even her boy Ramchan, Puro was going to get married to, was chosen by a family. She had never even met him once, and suddenly another boy kidnaps her, and forcefully she has to get married to him. She had to sacrifice her way of living because she wanted to make her family secure, because if the family accepted her, her parents accepted her after she was abducted, then the society would not have accepted them. They would have rejected the family, because she was abducted by a Muslim man and she stayed with him for 15 days. So it was a disgrace to the whole Hindu community. And she was just like a log in a cage, how, and she was a skeleton. In Punjabi, pinjar also means skeleton. So she was a body but did not have any soul, who could freely speak and say out her opinions and live her life her own way.
Thank you.
Also the fact that many a times she um, she connects herself, her situation, with a lot of other women and thinks that her situation is much better than many other women. And she meets Taro, who she meets Taro, she meets Kammo, and she feels sympathy towards them. And that's how she feels that women are nothing but cage. And it was very for easy for people to uh, question the honor of the family through the girl's abduction. Like the why couldn't the boy be abducted rather than the girl? Because the girl meant the honor of the family, and that is why, because it started with a rivalry. And they found a way to abduct the girl. Instead of, they could have even abducted the newborn boy, but they did not do that. They abducted the women. They abducted Puro. So that plays, it talks more about how gender dynamics affect, is a big theme in the story. Any other take?
I have certain thoughts. My name is Dhwani. I'm from TYND, and there was this question which constantly lingered in my mind while I
Dhwani,
was
can we
reading the
see you?
story.
Just a minute, Dhwani. We'd like to see you.
Okay. Am I visible?
Yes.
Okay, so the question that constantly lingered in my mind was that before she got abducted, before even she got engaged, her identity was defined by her family. When she was engaged, her identity was defined by the guy who she got married to, and post abduction, her identity was defined as Rashid's. And when she went back to her family, she felt helpless, and now she went back to Rashid because she didn't have an identity of her own. So throughout the book, she was victimized. I feel like women are shown as victims constantly, and that is rooted so deep into our system that even now, if we have a women-centric film, it's not considered normal. It's a big thing rather than when we have movies which have male gender as the superhero. It's a norm. I mean, it's not something special. So I think that is something we need to address: victimization of women throughout, even if it's legit to a certain extent.
Thank you for your contribution, Dhwani. Anyone
Welcome.
else? Anyone who has watched the movie instead of reading the book? They can put in their views as well.
Okay, hi, girls. I would like to add a little bit to this because Pinzer is a real nice movie, and I have read the book too now. And my take on this is a little bit different than what you have been saying. Yes, I agree to the victimization of Puro. I also agree to all the hardships that she had to undergo because she was a girl. But I would like to know your views about what happens to the young men of that in that book or in that movie, because if you see Manoj Vajpayee, who is acting like that, the person who abducts her actually is kind to her. If you really look at it, I mean, all throughout, he feels strongly for what he has done is very wrong. Also, if you see the later part in the book as well as in the movie, you find that her is at the end of the entire thing ready to accept her. So there seems to be a gap between possibly the older generation which thought of women as somebody who could be victimized, etc., to the new generation of men who possibly were emerging at that time, who thought that things could be different. I would like to hear your views on this.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'd
This
like
was
to
a
respond to that.
yes, ma'am.
So when we were, so sorry. So we were when we were discussing about the major themes in this novel. One of the major themes that, like ma'am, even I thought about and was crucial to me was the bit about morality, as to how do we can we judge the characters' actions, were they right or were they wrong? But I feel that these characters were actually plunged into this the atrocities of partition, and hence you can't really judge them as right or wrong. Yeah, we do see them evolving as better human beings as such, but we also see that there were some shortcomings of these so-called good or moral characters as well initially. Like we know that when Kuro finally confronts Ramchand in the field, he she is unable to like introduce herself, and Ramchand doesn't identify her, or probably doesn't want to identify her. Some read it as his I mean, he didn't know actually how to react to Kuro, who was now someone else's wife, belonged to another community. So probably he didn't know how to react to a person like that. Already, I mean, we already know that he was to be married to her, but he probably questioned her chastity at that point. So that's one reading. So he did evolve into probably a mature character in the end, but initially he did have his doubts. So morality is, and about Rashida is the fact that you know, he was pressurized to do that a crime, and he went in for it, right? Just to kind of keep the honor of his own family. He did not question the fact that just because a woman of his family was victimized or abducted, should this go on? Should this tradition go on? He didn't question it in the beginning. He did feel empathy towards Puro. All of that is dead, but the morality aspect is something that can be discussed, and there has to be, there's a lot of variety and dialogue in terms of this theme. That's
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on, I think we have another question. My question is for Hetal. Um, Hetal, we find that Puro gets through an identity conflict at several instances in the novel. Tell us about the instance you found most interesting.
Uh, yeah, Gauri, thank you for the question. You know, the instance where, it's like, what is an identity of a person? I feel that it's the self esteem that a person has, is the identity that he or she carries. So when she is abducted by Rashid and she escapes from Rashid's trap and goes back to her family, but her family doesn't accept her, then she has no option but to go back to Rashid. Rashid takes her to another place, another village where they set up their home. Then, after a few months, she's pregnant. So, because of all this, she feels that she did not had any choice of whatever happened to her. So, and also when her name is changed from Puro to Hamida, she was not asked that whether she wants to get converted from a Hindu to a Muslim. So it's like she doesn't know what is happening with her, but she's like, nothing can be worse than this. So she just accepts it. At night, when she's dreaming, she feels that she's the happy Hindu girl who used to live with her family, who was dreaming to get married to Ramchand. And during the daytime, she has to do all the household work, bear the child in her womb, which is forcefully planted in her. So the identity crisis what she's going through, that she even there's a line in the story where it is written that she is neither of the one, because she feels a sense of isolation. She herself doesn't know. Her self esteem is hurt so bad that she doesn't know if she's Puro at a point or Hamida at a point. Yes, ma'am, you were saying something.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Alana.
was just Yeah, I was just wondering whether you can link the whole idea of identity to the whole historical event of the partition, because suddenly the drawing of a invisible line which creates these two identities, which imposes Hindu, Muslim, or Indian Pakistan. So how you can link the what happens to our identity because of the moment of partition. And I'm just curious to know, because I know uh, Reena and I guess Dhwani, your family should have the experience of partition, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so would you make that connection with the text also?
Like in the book, they said that in before when Puro was abducted and she returned to her family, the family refused to accept her because of societal pressure. But when the time of partition is coming, the government itself is Muslim women will be exchanged for Hindu women, and Hindu women will be exchanged for Muslim women in Britain who are abducted. So again, here they are implying, they are putting the community in between. It's not about the individual identity. It's not because of women or they are humans. It's just because like Hindus will be exchanged for Muslims in return. So my family, like my grandfather and grandmothers, they were children when India and Pakistan were partitioned. So now they don't remember much about how things were back then. But their birthplace is still in Pakistan. So like they're even though if they want to even though if they want to be happy or recollect their moments, I don't think they have much remembrance about it. So talking about the book's identity crisis. In the beginning, Puro is a very low self-esteem woman, just like Hetal said. But by the end, she emerges as a bolder woman and courageous woman who decides to live in Pakistan, even though her brother is asking her and telling her that Ramchand is ready to accept you, and now it is your choice to come back to India, and even your family will accept, because the government is country is making laws to accept the daughters. But she decides that her family is already in Pakistan, and she is now a Muslim woman. She's Hamida, and her children and husband is there. So she refuses to go back to India, but stay in Pakistan as a Pakistani woman.
Thank you.
I feel that when we talk about identity, an individual's identity is based on a lot of factors. Like in case of Hamida or Puro, she was known first by her identity. Her identity was first known by her, religion. She is a daughter. She was a Hindu woman living in Pakistan. And after the partition, even though she was still in Pakistan, her identity from the point of view of religion had changed. But towards the end, we see that she has accepted whatever has come, and she probably feels that whatever happened for a reason. And I think from then on, her identity crisis had started to settle down, and she rose up to become a much stronger woman.
Thank you.
Any other take on this? We have Vidya ma'am, we have Milina Peria ma'am, we have Neha Patil, Mansi Tatia. Anyone can come up with their point of view. Sakshi?
Yeah, I have seen the movie also. Part of the movie is when they come to take her back.
I think ma'am got disconnected.
Maybe you could suggest if people could also put it into the chat if they have any other issues or questions, which we can always take up again.
Feel free. Anyone has any inputs, please let us know in the chats. So then we can, get back to you all in the group or through the Instagram posts, any which ways.
I would like to say something.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Yeah, actually, as you rightly mentioned right now, Gauri, about the identity crisis, like we have, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
I have most of the times read about life after death, and it is mostly connected to something which is spiritual. But after watching this movie, I realized that if we look at the term life after death of a person like Puro, then it will be something how she survived something as equivalent to death. Whatever she has went through in her life, it was extreme. So when such, even if we look at today's scenario where rape victims are facing a lot of problems, when these people try to live on their own terms while they want to create an identity again after facing so much, they should be given a certain support. Like when we are educated, we try to provide them such, but there are certain narrow-minded classes which still exist in the society. So as women, I think we can do something to support such people, even at this stage. So this
Thank you,
was a
Sakshi.
take. I don't have a question.
Okay. Actually, I really appreciate the author in person because she has given voice to so many women. And there have been so many victims we don't know of, whose brothers have been, have come to India and they have remained in Pakistan. Whereas even with the men, not just women, but children and women were most affected. In the whole partition situation.
So, like Mala ma'am just mentioned about, I think ma'am was talking about cartography, talking about partition. So, what I'd like to add is that when you read the book, or even when you watch the movie, you would realize that it is, I find the cartography to me, it's ridiculous the way the whole thing took place, the cartography took place. But even when you read the book, you realize more that the cartography was more uh, on the identity of individuals more than on the geography. Like in the movie, there is an instance where Puru asks Rashida, so she she asks him what is happening, and he tells her there's partition now. There are two nations. So she asks him, so where are we now? Where are we? And he says that we are in Pakistan. So the instance where she's asking him which nation do we belong to. So that's like an addition to one of the identity conflicts that she's going through. All this time she was asking herself, who is she? Okay, is she Puro, or is she Hamida, or who is she? And now she's now questioning her national identity as well. Like, where does she belong? Does she belong to the people who now live in Amritsar, where her heart really is, or does she belong to to the house that she lives in with Rashid? So, so partition is the major background to this novel, because everything is impacted by it, and how ridiculous the whole thing was. Uh, and that is the reason why we find so not only Puro but other characters going through identity conflict. But we eventually find that she overcomes this crisis, where she has this instance where she uses the tattoo, the hand on the hand of a name, of a new name carved on her hand, to her own advantage, to free Lajo away, and she
That
uses
was
that
a big
to her own
strategy.
advantage. Yeah, so she does free herself from all the her own conflicts. Actually, that's the moment when she realizes that she can be her own self, and she can be whoever she wants to be.
Amazing. So I think we are coming close to this session, and I feel this went good, positive. I was excited as well as nervous. So does anyone have to give any feedback? Yes, ma'am. Please.
Yes, ma'am.
Gauri, I would just like to appreciate you and your team. I would like to thank Huda for coordinated. Amazing job, meaning I done almost so professionally, started exactly on time, and you're ending on time, meaning that's something that really is a mark of how professional you are. What I would suggest that those who have joined here, they could themselves suggest like to lead the discussion next time. And they could also maybe put in the chat or send names of the next book or story that we could read. And so that we get to hear more voices. But congratulations once again. Wonderful effort. This is something I've been wanting for a long time to happen in our college. And the lockdown there are certain advantages of the lockdown.
True.
That it actually
Absolutely.
made it happen. Yeah. So well done to all the girls. And
Thank
to those,
you.
Reena, to Hetal, thanks again to Huda. And it's wonderful to see that we have so many people who have joined today. Congrats.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Also, next week we will be coming with a different theme. I think today I will be posting certain books, two books more. And I'm hoping we get more audience, we get more participants next time. And I will also be sharing a feedback form link. So if anybody has an extra feedback they want to suggest or give, please feel free to. So I see it is already 5:30. So I should be ending this meeting. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending.
Can we all come? Can you all come so we can take a screenshot of everybody? As
Yes,
this is like
we have 1 extra minute, so we have to do this quick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So everybody just put your videos on.
I'll be taking the screenshot of the screen.
Yeah.
Yes. We have 2 more people.
Just take a of all 14.
Yes, Neha Patil and Melina Peria, ma'am, please turn your videos on. We have less time. Yes. Melina ma'am.
Just a moment.
Yes, ma'am. I've taken one. We'll take one more when ma'am comes.
Hello.
Uh,
Gauri, I think I'm finding it a little difficult to come on the camera.
ma'am, we can't see you. Your camera is
Hello.
turned off.
Yeah, that's what. One moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Just go ahead, Gauri. Go ahead and
Yeah,
do it.
go ahead, please.
I've done it. Taken it.
All right.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Gauri.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
ma'am, for your time.
It was just great. Thank you, girls.
Thank you.